Hi guys, so this is not a subliminal as you can see, it is more of a manifestation video if you want to call it this way. Our family is growing day by day and I saw some people being a bit conflicted, maybe a bit not lost but not maybe really grasping what all of this is about. So I thought why not explaining it. A few days ago I actually got like this kind of epiphany, I guess you can call it, and I thought why not sharing it with you. The reason why I also want to share with you is because it feels nowadays like so many people are just like scamming others with all this idea of manifestation and make your dreams come true. Literally, I mean, it's a bit paradoxical. If you can manifest anything you want, why would you have to pay for a course or coaching when you can just manifest, get that for free, right? If that's really a thing for you. So, for your sake and help, I thought of posting this. Also, we could talk about how subliminals might fit into this and how they can be or not helpful. And maybe this also gives you more room to see if that's maybe a thing that might work to you or might work for you. Okay, so we'll begin by stating the obvious, which is that every thought we have equals one new reality. And I'm saying new in between brackets because, how to explain this? Okay, so things have always existed. That's why I feel some people say the creation is, already done, it's finished. So maybe an equivalent, it's like an easy example, okay, I mean for you to maybe understand it, is you're in the middle of the dark room. You cannot see anything, right? So you have by your side maybe a flashlight or you have, your phone. And you start like lighting things. So you start all of a sudden, seeing what's part of the room. These objects have always been there, but you're now aware of that being part of the room. So in this sense, it means that there are many ideas or many thoughts that you haven't had. Hence, these are possibilities or realities that don't really apply to you unless, of course, you think about them, so they will become real, in a sense. So, the thing here is that the more you think about them, as we said, the more we think about that idea, the more you feed it. As I said, this is going to be pretty basic, so don't make fun of it. But again, the more you feed it, aka you maintain it. Maintain it, support it. Okay. The question might be, why? Why the more you think about something, the more you support that idea? Well, as we said before, the answer is consciousness, but not really in this like omnipresent type of God-like figure, but just your awareness, what you're aware or not in your day-to-day life, like in a very down-to-earth type of idea, right? And that consciousness would be the equivalent of this flashlight, for example, or your phone. If we give the example of, the dark room and you're lighting it. Okay, So that's basically manifesting. That's why you've been doing it your entire life since you were born. You've been having thoughts. You've been reading the room, consciously or unconsciously, because here also, comes into play your programs, your, belief systems, the different narratives or ideologies that have, through a process of naturalization have become, again, natural or normal for you, what you can expect. But that's basically what this basically means, is that you already think about that. Hence, the more you think about something, the more real it becomes, the more feasible that possibility is in your mind, as the more like plausible outcome of said situation. So this is basically manifesting. It's not woo-woo, it's not magic, it's not, techniques and repeating 1,000 times, 10,000 times, hours and hours and hours, days and days and days, or I don't know, like waiting. That's not what it is. It's just you have outcome A, and you think that this A will have B consequence. Like, okay, I did an exam, I didn't feel very confident about it, so hence I'm going to fail. Or the other way around, I just did an exam, I didn't study at all, but I know I have a good memory, good capacity, so of course I'm going to pass. Hence, even though you didn't study anything or almost nothing, for that exam, you still pass and with a good grade. So once we have this, we could say then that a thought, okay, equals to, it's like the equivalent of a seed. Okay, I think that's a good idea of thinking, them just like a seed, and basically paying attention to them, or considering them as possible. It's like equivalent of feeding them, of watering them, which again, this equals materializing, which in this sense is the same as manifesting, which would be like from a mental plane, transforming it into the physical plane. Okay, and the question is, why pay attention or even considering as a possible outcome, even if it's very tiny, but enough just to be like, oh, it could happen actually. Why equals materializing it? Because you actually, read it or interpret it as a possibility, as a real possibility, therefore a reality. I hope it doesn't, like those silences are that awkward while I'm writing. You can see it. Also, my handwriting is way prettier than on the iPad. I don't know why whenever I write on my iPad, that's why I typically use like a Bluetooth keyboard, because whenever I use my pen, like my pencil on my iPad, my handwriting is just awful. Okay, and again. Okay. Okay, no matter the percentage. So this is why, for example, whenever you fear something, many people say that you manifest what you fear, not what you want. And it's because even though you're not maybe consciously thinking about, this is gonna go wrong, I'm not, gonna get that job, I'm not gonna get the money, I'm not gonna make it, I'm not gonna make my SP come back, I'm not gonna lose the weight, I'm not gonna gain the weight, I'm not gonna be, this is not gonna work. Even if that is like not present consciously, you still consider it a possible outcome of the situation you want. Hence, if you consider a possibility, you will want to protect it. You will want, protect yourself from it. You will want to be ready. So you will create a set of beliefs that will literally, support, even if it's in an unconscious way, and maintain that possibility just in case. So we are going to try to bring this into more practical example, I feel. So we could say that we have two thoughts, okay? Two independent thoughts. Which are thought A, and we have here thought B. As we can see, they are different. And even and they can be even like opposites. The thing is, they can even be like, I am rich, thought A, thought B, I am poor, okay? They can be completely opposites. However, they are equal for us because they are two thoughts. That's why they say if you can manifest little things, you can, manifest a text message from anyone. You can manifest your SB. You can literally manifest seeing your neighbor when you are, when you throw the trash. You can manifest your SP, your celebrity crush, whatever. Like if you can get $5, €5, your currency, you can get $1 million. Because they're just thoughts. They're the same. Both are the same seed. Which one you are feeding? That's the key. So the question is, that you must ask yourself, in which thought I am paying more attention. Oh my god, I hate this handwriting. Okay, I'm paying more attention to. And again, this is not really what you're doing consciously, but what you are also doing unconsciously. In the sense that you can be affirming, and I think this is a very common situation for many people. You can be consciously, affirming for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 3 hours, 2 hours, every day. Consciously you're affirming your affirmations. You can even be listening to a subliminal and repeat your affirmations. Like, I don't know, you want to have green eyes, and you're like, I have green eyes, my eyes are green, my eyes are green, my eyes are green. And you can do this for that time. However, the rest of your day, your week, as you want to call it, what are your thoughts? And I don't mean, again, consciously, but what are your thoughts subconsciously, like your belief system? Maybe you see a picture of yourself and you think, oh, my eyes are so ugly and they look so dark. This, even if it's sounds like a silly thought, contradicts your thought A. And if you pay attention to these, which maybe your thought A was like, I have green lighter eyes, I don't know, and you say, oh, my eyes look so dark and ugly because you don't like them, you're unconsciously supporting your thought B without necessarily actually affirming I have dark eyes. And this is with everything. So the more you pay attention to something, the more attention to something, that will determine the outcome of the situation you find yourself in. Okay, so if you think more about it, the more you think about something, the more real it becomes. You know, there's this saying that says that a lie told enough times becomes the truth, or something along those lines. So literally, the more you think about something, the more you contemplate about something, the more mental space that thing has, you know, in your mind, the more real somehow it becomes. Why? Because you're feeding it. So it determines the outcome, aka the more real it becomes. But this is the important thing. In your head, it doesn't necessarily mean that in fact this is, you know, going to materialize for real. It's just that you're considering it a possible outcome, and then it's like it grows bigger and bigger and bigger, and you can only think about this thing when you're afraid of something. It's not maybe rational, that fear. It's not even, maybe even the chances of it actually happening are not that much. However, in your head, it feels huge. It feels so real, so close of actually happening, that you automatically, you know, you stop even thinking or, you know, about other realities. Your scope, your mental scope just like narrows so much that you can only see that, because maybe you feel threatened, you feel endangered, so you're just thinking of, I gotta make myself feel safe, you know, I gotta be safe, I have to neutralize this. So we can make an example. Say that you want to manifest an SP, right? So we say that you want to manifest your SP. It can be a new person, it can be a celebrity crush, it can be a celebrity. I mean, you can also be a celebrity, it doesn't need to be a crush. It can be, I don't know, a masteress, or mentor. Well, anyways, a mentor. You know, it can be a mentor, it can be, I don't know, you name it, right? So you want to manifest, we're gonna say manifest SP in my life. Okay, that's our desire. That's our desire. That's our intention. That's what we want, you know? So all of a sudden, before we thought about this, we never thought that that person would, you know, be part of our lives. But all of a sudden we thought about this person and we were like, wow, it would be really good to have this person in my life. So all of a sudden, we have a new reality where this person, you know, is part of our life. Okay, so you maybe have, let's say it's a romantic SP, okay? You want to manifest a boyfriend, you want to manifest a girlfriend, and it's a very specific person. It's not like anyone, it's like this guy, this girl, this very specific person. So we have like thought A, which is we are in a relationship. relationship. We're in love. We are together. Therefore, if that's the only thought we have, we're in a relationship, probably we're going to start having, and if it's an unconscious way, thoughts that support this one. You're not going to feel weird. You don't even have to convince yourself, because you already have, maybe you don't even have thoughts, which means that, as when people say resistance, you don't have nothing that contradicts the statement, we are in a relationship. This person and I are in love. We're in a relationship. We're happy. Hence, since it is the only reality, like it was the only reality you consider as possible, okay, like oh my god, plausible outcome of your current situation. Okay, there's some movement, there's, I don't know, maybe you see them in person, you're in the same space, maybe you don't talk, maybe all of a sudden you get a pubs recommended, or even if they're, referring to another person, you hear the name, maybe you see a color, a number, something that reminds you of this person. It's like, oh, okay, things are starting to get aligned. But all of a sudden, a new thought comes in, which we'll call it thought B, which is maybe he or she, okay, they might already be in a relationship. Because let's say that for whatever the reason is, maybe there's some delay, maybe things are not, expecting, so your brain somehow tries to justify this gap, maybe you don't have everything with you, so maybe you say, maybe they might be in a relationship, maybe they have someone, maybe, he has a girlfriend, he has a boyfriend, she has a girlfriend, she has a boyfriend, they might have someone, something must happen there. From the only possible, outcome of your current situation that you have, which was we are in a relationship, now there's another one. So you're here, we're gonna delete this, but you're here, you think, so you're in this new relationship, but all of a sudden, because you have an intrusive thought, you want to call it this way, you add a new possibility, which is your SB. Let's make it so it's you. It's in love with someone else, while you are heartbroken because it's not with you. So we have two competing relationships or thoughts, as you were saying, okay? So that's the thing, you can have an intrusive thought, I'm sure I'm not the only one that sometimes thinks, oh my god, what if I'm walking on my heels, I'm like, oh my god, what if I slip and I fall and I get hurt, I break my leg or something, that's an intrusive thought. The thing is, if I actually keep contemplating it as a possible outcome, a real possible outcome of my circumstance, probably would fall, and probably, rather than just simply falling, and not getting hurt, probably would broke my leg too, my bone. And that's the same. You might have this intrusive thought, but however, how much importance are you giving to it? How real you start considering it? If that's something you actually fear, oh no, it gotta be her, it gotta be him, we're meant to be. They cannot be, they can't be with someone else. That might threaten you. That might make you fearful, so you unconsciously will start considering it a possible outcome. You might start having thoughts, like sub thoughts, that support or reinforce said fear. Maybe it's because you're past, maybe it's because, I don't know, I'm not that pretty, I'm not the type of person, who gets experience at things, you name it. The thing is, you start having thought B, which is a reality. You didn't even consider before. AKA, it didn't exist. It was a door, sorry, it didn't unlock yet. Now that you think about it, you didn't lock it. It's up to you if you want to, walk in or not, or you want to close it again. Okay, so the more you think, about this thought B, we're gonna put it like this, it's a shortening about thought B, you're indirectly giving it more attention. And sometimes, again, it's not thinking it as in repeating the affirmation, it's just contemplating it as a possible outcome for you. That's the thing. Just like me, you will probably, this is something that has happened to you tons of times too, that you talk to people, maybe people that you already can see that you're very different, and maybe you are like, oh my god, how are you able to socialize that much? Or maybe you're like, oh my god, how are you so easygoing? Or the other way around, how can you think so much? It's because, and you're projecting onto them or their situation your own beliefs, your own thoughts, your own possibilities. However many times for them it's not even a thing. They never even thought about that. Hence they never even consider it as a possible outcome. Like, let's say you have to do an oral presentation in front of your class and you get very nervous, and a friend of yours, or I don't know, a sibling or someone close to you, can every day of their life talk, and on the stage, talk to people on the stage, feel so like fluid. They are so fluid, so comfortable on this stage, and you're just like, oh my god, how do you do it? You get nervous, you don't get anxious that you have so many eyes on you. And they're like, no, I didn't even think about this. I'm just like, it's my time to shine. Like, I know the thing, so I'm just gonna make them listen to me. And that's the thing. Since they don't even think about, I don't know, stuttering or forgetting things, these things don't even happen to them. And if these things happen, it won't be a big deal. They're just like maybe letting slide, like, oh, I just forgot how this word is in English, or oh, let me check my notes again, and they keep it up because it's not even a big deal for them. However, for you, then maybe you get nightmares about talking maybe in public. You already assume, again with the law of sunshine, if we work in this way, that this is a very possible, outcome for you, a very real future stage for you, a very real ending, or like outcome of tomorrow have an oral presentation, how it will go. So as we were saying, indirectly you're giving it more attention. Hence, it becomes, for us, in our heads, more real. Here we have a lovely ugly drawing, which will come a bit here. I could even paint it. Yay! I thought it was like not so big. Anyways, we're gonna do pink. I love pink. Yay! Pink dress. Pink dress. Everybody has a pink dress. Okay, let's keep going. The thing is, if we, adopt a more detached perspective of this example, okay? Both thoughts, okay? Thought A and thought B, they are equal. They probably even, when they came into our minds, they came maybe both as splitting thoughts. So, both thoughts are equal. In everything, they are equal in everything. The only difference is that you're feeling more, okay? Which means you're contemplating or even imagining it as more plausible one thought than the other. That's why also, you can manifest anything instantly. I feel it's also because of this, because you might, you right now have a set of beliefs, assumptions, if you want to work with that law, and literally that narrative is what it's dictating your entire life, not just your past and your present, of course, but also your future, because you're already assuming that if A happens, B is what's going to happen. So what I started doing after, this epiphany, if you want to call it this way, was to, every time I had a thought regarding a big manifestation I wanted, and it was a thought that somehow, made me feel uneasy, I was, okay, because sometimes it wasn't even a thought, it was, a fleeting flashback, a fleeting possibility, that in fact went against what I wanted. It was the opposite. And I was thinking, okay, this support my affirmation, my idea, my, the future I actually want. No, then it doesn't work with me, it doesn't work for me, so I'm not going to consider it. Because that's the thing, the same way you're maybe thinking something that goes against you and you have the entire reality, reflect that. Just as easy as you, thought about that and you were like, yeah, this can be real for me because ABC, you just can think something opposite that benefits you and feed it all the time. So this is basically how manifesting works, which in fact it's not manifestation, it's just conscious manifestation, because as many people have been saying for years, you have been doing this and you are in fact doing it unconsciously since the day you were born. So how do the different techniques, I know my channel is just a subliminal channel, back. But for different people, different techniques work. The thing is that as you can see, you don't need techniques to actually manifest anything. Otherwise, you wouldn't, have lived a day in your life. nothing would have happened to you, but literally nothing. Absolutely nothing. Some people do affirmations, which I guess you could also include like robotic affirmations. Affirming will look good. You have visualization, which again, it's like when I said, okay, I have I have what I want to manifest, but all of a sudden I see maybe something that somehow my brain, connects it with what I want, and all of a sudden I'm like, as we said in the example, what if he has a girlfriend? What if she has a girlfriend? And I'm here just trying, to be like, yeah, act as if, whatever, and they already have someone. What if? This already contradicts my following that example of we're together. It contradicts it, and unconsciously I'm giving more weight, more attention to the what if then we're together, because if he, she, they have a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, it puts me in danger, because if I really want this, then, what's my position there? Am I going to be heartbroken? Am I going to be deceived? Am I, So, the key here, okay, we can put also subliminals, because I love them. Etc. Okay, like, there's more. I know we can all know techniques and everything. The thing is that you don't need any of them. You don't need anything. You don't need courses. You don't need anything. Okay, so the thing is, you should keep yourself a bit detached from everything. When I mean detached, it's not practicing detachment, all this type of stuff. No. Detach is just having, the own awareness of, hey, all thoughts are equal. Hence, does this feeling, emotion, whatever you want to call it, support what I want or goes against it? That's detachment. Does this support what I want? Am I feeding, the seed I want, or I'm feeding the one I don't want? Because I know that's not my future. I know that's not my outcome, Which one is it? That's detachment. You don't need anything else. You don't need absolutely anything else. Just keep that in mind. Is this what I want? Is this working for me? This isn't working for me. Why? You might wonder, okay, why? Because again, you're creating your own narrative, your own ideologies, which means that, of course, because you read certain situations with those, like through those lenses, you already have some emotions attached to it. So maybe you see a happy couple and that's a reminder of, oh, I'm actually single and I don't know anything about my SB, and this makes you feel bad, which this reinforces unconsciously the I am, he, she, they, whoever doesn't like me, or we're not together, they don't like me. That's why I'm saying don't trust your emotions, don't trust many of this stuff. Things in itself are neutral. That's why I'm saying, okay, this emotion does feed the we are together and happy, or the we're not together now. Keep that in mind. Just recognize it, find it, like funny, yeah, and recognize it. So with the techniques, you could do all of this, but again, as we were saying, if you have these subconscious patterns, they won't really do much. They're going to give you hope, but hope does not manifest. Hope doesn't do much. Hope just, many times it just hurts you, because it makes you keep believing in something that, never was going to work with. Like, it was never going to work with you. Because you can't have all the hope in the world that this is going to give me what I want. But again, you have all these, house of cards, that they're like trying to support the. No, it's not gonna work for you. You can have all the hope in life for as many years as you want to, that they're not gonna change anything. Why it works for some people? Well, because the firming, it forces you consciously to think or only consider the affirmation statement you want. So I guess that enough repetition is everything in life. Just rewires your brain. You practice, a habit and action enough times, and it will become a habit for you. Something unconscious. Visualization. It can be good because it makes feel, makes your body feel as real and safe, and maybe had some negative connotations for your, I don't know, maybe because of programming or, your belief set that might be dangerous for you, and maybe by visualizing it, imagining it first, like how my oral presentation is gonna go, makes you feel relieved that in fact that outcome where you succeed and you feel comfortable might be the real one. I don't like visualization at all. I find it so useless, but that's my bias in affirming. I like it when I do it unconsciously. Like, I don't know, I see myself in the mirror, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so pretty. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm not trying to convince myself I'm pretty. I'm literally sitting outside, like, I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, god, I look like a doll. I don't know how many times I did this completely unconsciously, and it's very funny because later I met some friends, like went outside, and so on and so forth, and people have actually told me, like, you look like a doll, oh my god, you look so pretty. I'm like, I know. Why I love subliminals though, and that's why I create them, because I don't like when I feel I'm doing things. I don't like to firm, I don't like to visualize, I don't like to read, I don't like to feel like I'm really working on it, because I feel that I'm lying to myself. I feel like I'm trying to convince myself of something that I'm already. And I've always think the same. If I am ready what I want, why would I invest so much time seeing it, feeling it, if it's already my life? So in my head, it doesn't make sense, and that's why I love subliminals. I can listen to ASMR, I can listen to music, I'm creating pretty edit, I'm creating pretty things. I feel so creative, and all of a sudden, all these affirmations and everything you want to call it, already in my mind. That's why I love it. That's why I always said in post and everything, whenever any of you have asked me how many times on everything, I would say the same. Subliminals are a technique, not magic. You make the magic happen. You must understand this. Subliminals are just a technique. You are the one giving them power. They are just like a painkiller. You don't think of the painkiller, oh my god, work, oh my god, work, oh my god, work. No, you take the painkiller and it works without you doing anything. Subliminals work the same. Listen to the music, vibe through the music, or maybe take a nap, listen to the ASMR. The thing is, they work, all of them, from any creator. All of them. Every single subliminal you listen to works. It's not, oh, this girl works more. That's because you think that this subliminal maker, if you're not doing your own subliminals, they maybe have more your trust. You feel closer to them. There's something in them that you feel like they are better, and that's why they are better for you, or they work better for you. It's because you already think their work, it's more effective than anyone else. But that subliminal maker, that video, and other person are just as effective. And with this, it's everything. You don't need to affirm. You don't need to listen to subliminals. You don't need to visualize. You don't need to book tarot readers. You don't need coaches. You don't need programs. You don't need anything. You can just say, again, think once. I remember once this year with like a celebrity, I guess you could call it. I remember telling my mom one day I met her, I was like, you know, I think this guy is really cute. I want to get to meet him. He's really pretty. And it was really funny because I said that to my mom, like, I don't know, it was Saturday or Sunday, and the very next day he was in my city. And mind you, he's not from my country and he's not living in my country either. And he was like in my city for the first time, and I actually get to know this because 2 days later, you know, like some media were like covering the fact that he went to my city for the first time, and there was so many gossip because, oh my god, but he was like, no, it was my birthday, so I came here just for the first time with my agent. I was like, what a coincidence. I said, he's my boyfriend, I want to get to know him, he's really cute, I wouldn't mind dating him. And all of a sudden he's in my city. All of a sudden, you know, I didn't affirm, I didn't think, it was just, oh, that would be nice, he's pretty. And like this, I have so many other examples. So that's why I'm saying you don't really have to care or worry, you don't even have to consciously think about them. Just, if things are important for you, it's because your emotions are at play. It happens to me too. That's why I'm still trying to learn. Not learning more about manifestation, but learning about myself and how I work and how I've been working up to now. And that's what I'm saying. If you, for whatever the reason is, feel like uneasy or somehow lost, it's fine. Find someone to share your things, but you don't really need to pay for anyone. And I really want to like say this. You don't really want to pay for anyone. I know that I even myself have a store of subliminals, and I want to thank those of you who have like worked with me. But I'm offering this because I'm taking the time to actually think of affirmations, writing them, editing the video and sending it to you so you don't have to make it. And of course, this is time of my life, but really, you don't really need to hire someone to do that. You don't really need to get someone's course. Many people are literally selling you this idea of, I became rich. But girl or boy, you became rich because you're selling a course overpriced of some knowledge that it's really universal. And what's even worse is that since it is like this spiritual type of stuff, if the things you preach don't really work, you're just gonna tell them that they don't have faith enough, they don't affirm enough, they don't visualize good enough, when it's not true. It's not true. No one has like the magic wand of anything, because it's something we've all been doing since we were born, so it's not that much. Also, oh my god, I had a thing, and I have it like in the tip of my tongue and I just forgot about it. Anyways, the thing is with all this type of stuff, it's that for me it's very funny. For example, to create subliminals, I use all my subliminals. I think they're so cute also because of, you know, becoming a subliminal maker. I've been able, even if it's just like online, to meet really amazing people. I'm extremely thankful for having all of you with me. But seriously, it's not that deep. If like you've been doing this your entire life, you're already doing it. You're already that person. You know, also, okay, now I remember it. Also, so many people are using, you know, throwing psychology terms, psychoanalytical terms. It's like a very messy thing. You don't need to regulate your nervous system. You don't need to overcome your shadow aspect. You don't need to just stop. You just need to think, I'm healed. You know, like, oh no, it's because you're nervous and your nervous system, blah blah blah. They're just telling you, you know, and adding things. It's like something like blocks don't exist, resistance don't exist. Manifesting in a time crunch, like, yeah, it needs like a month to, you know, to be in between for it to materialize. Lie. It's all lies. Those are lies. Your nervous system is perfect. You are healthy. You are amazing. You don't need to do that. You're perfectly fine, complete, whole right now. You don't need to add unnecessary stuff to justify why you don't have what you want. Because that's what you're doing. Oh, I haven't manifested what I wanted because my nervous system is unregulated. No, you're freaking fine. Trust me, you're fine. It's not your nervous system. It's just that probably you have certain beliefs that are going, under your conscious monologue. And that's what's keeping you. You have some fears, you have some doubts that keep reinforcing the idea that you don't have something. But it's fine. Now you know this. Now you can start differentiating. You don't have to keep up, walking with this very heavy backpack. Drop it all. Just choose what works with you, what makes you feel comfortable and good, and that's it. Thank you guys for everything. I hope it's not too boring or weird, and love you so much.